Thanks for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Gary Lane. Today, fury and grief in Israel amid the fallout from Hamas's execution of 6 hostages, including Israeli-American Goldberg-Polin, as thousands turn out for his funeral. And President Biden and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu again disagreeing over ceasefire talks. And we'll show you how the impact of the war against Hamas, devastating lives and economies far away from Gaza. And here at home, the presidential campaign heating up, and the top concern for many Americans, inflation and the economy. We'll bring you an up-close and personal look. And it's dangerous, a dangerous threat to America that few people are aware of. How a cyber attack could bring the country to a standstill, knocking out key systems across the country. Those stories and more today on NewsWatch.
This is CBN NewsWatch.
We begin with the war in Gaza and the fallout from Hamas executing 6 hostages, including President Biden criticized Israeli Benjamin Netanyahu, saying he hasn't done enough to get a ceasefire deal to get the hostages released. Netanyahu responded by saying, "No one will preach to me on this issue." And in Israel, thousands attended a service for one of those murdered hostages, American-Israeli hostage Goldberg-Polin. CBN Middle East correspondent Julie Stahl brings us a story from Jerusalem.
Thousands of Israelis streamed to Hirsch's funeral in grief and disbelief that he's now gone. Hirsch's mother spoke to her slain son.
"I know you're right here. I just have to teach myself how to feel you in a different way. And Hirsch, there's one last thing I need you to do for us. Now I need you to help us stay strong. And I need you to help us survive."
Israeli President Isaac Herzog addressed the funeral of the dual U.S.-Israeli citizen who's become a symbol of the battle to free the hostages.
"How sorry I am that we didn't protect Hirsch on that dark day. How sorry I am that we failed to bring him home."
Rachel Goldberg-Polin said she and her family were convinced her son would come home alive.
For 23 years, I was privileged to have the most stunning honor to be Hirsch's mama. I'll take it and say thank you. I just wish it had been for longer.
Hirsch's father also shared his grief, but a hope as well.
For 330 days, Mama and I sought the proverbial stone that we could turn over to save you. Maybe, just maybe, your death is the stone, the fuel that will bring home the remaining 101 hostages.
Hirsch and 5 other Israelis were murdered as Israeli soldiers were getting closer to freeing them. Hamas began releasing last messages of the 6 murdered hostages and suggested they will kill hostages Israel tries to rescue by force. Monday, President Biden blamed Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for not doing enough to get a ceasefire deal to free the remaining hostages.
Mr. President, do you think it's time for Prime Minister Netanyahu to do more on this issue? Do you think he's doing enough?
No.
Netanyahu told the nation Hamas is blocking the deal and he's more committed to freeing the hostages than anyone.
I told the families, and I repeat again tonight, I ask you for your forgiveness that we were not able to bring them back alive. We were close, but we didn't succeed. They murdered 6 of our hostages in cold blood. So after this horrible murder, I don't believe that someone serious would come and say, "Now make more concessions. You're not serious. Hamas is serious." I can't believe this happened.
Hamas won't agree to a deal that allows Israeli troops to stay on the Philadelphi Corridor that links Gaza to Egypt, which Netanyahu says is key to Israel's security.
Philadelphia Corridor. This is the oxygen and armament of Hamas. This corridor is different from other corridors, from other places. It is central. It determines our entire future.
The deaths of the hostages sparked massive countrywide protests over the 11-month saga and calls for the government to do more to bring them home. Strikes called to force a hostage deal largely fizzled Monday, and a court ruled them illegal. Many demonstrators are angry Israel won't agree to a ceasefire that frees the hostages, no matter the cost.
The time has come to stand and to wake up, to do everything for the hostages to come back alive.
Others who turned out to support the government say those protests are helping Hamas and harm Israel.
The thing that they are doing now is destroying the unity of the people of Israel.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, Jerusalem.
The Israel-Hamas war has devastated lives and economies far beyond the borders of Gaza. CBN correspondent Chuck Holton traveled to Jordan to see the impact of the war on one of the region's top tourist destinations.
Petra, Jordan's crown jewel and a UNESCO World Heritage Site, normally bustles with thousands of visitors daily. Since October 7th, however, its rose-red facades and ancient streets have fallen eerily silent.
No tourists. All the tourists is afraid. Maybe in the Jordan we have war, but the Jordan it's not Palestine. It's far away. Or Jordan it's very safe.
Despite Jordan's distance from the conflict, the perception of danger has dealt a severe blow to the country's tourism industry.
We have many hotels is closed in this one. Like it's 28 hotels, maybe it's 30. Also, we have 300 persons working in the hotel, but now it's stay away in the house, not work, we don't have work.
To be the only person riding a camel through the rose-red city would have been an impossible dream pretty much any other time in history. And being here with no tourists because of the war almost makes it feel like you're discovering it for the first time. It's really amazing.
If you like to do shopping, we'll give you a good price.
Unfortunately, that dream has become a nightmare for the merchants making their living here.
Nice gift to buy from Petra. It's scarf for $180.
When in the high season, we do $200, $300 a day, sometimes $400. Now we make like 10, 15 GD a day. And sometimes no money at all. Like sometimes 5, 6 days, no business.
Without tourists, many can no longer feed their families.
Well, before October 7th, it was like climbing up to monastery around 2,000 a day, 5,000 visiting Petra downstairs. And now we have almost like 50, 40 a day, sometimes 20, maybe more like downstairs, like 100, 150.
Across Jordan, hotel occupancies have plummeted to as low as 3% in some areas. Airlines have cut routes, and cruise ships have canceled visits. Despite their hardships, many here are reluctant to openly discuss the root cause of their economic woes. When asked about the Hamas massacre as a possible reason behind his suffering, Solomon immediately ended the interview, a chilling reminder that people here are very careful not to blame the terror group. As war continues, the economic toll on Jordan and other neighboring countries grows. The once bustling streets of Petra remain silent, its majestic ruins both a testament to human ingenuity and a stark reminder of the far-reaching impact of this conflict. From Petra, I'm Chuck Holton for CBN News.
Coming up, here at home, high prices and heavy voter interest as the presidential race enters the home stretch. Look at how inflation and the economy are top issues for Americans in this election year when we come back.
Hi, I'm Charlene Aaron. At CBN, we're here to pray for you all year long. But did you know that each fall, the entire staff of CBN sets aside a very special time to pray especially for you? We have seen tremendous miracles happen as a result of these prayers. Please call or send in your prayer request today. No matter how big or small your need is, we consider it a great honor and privilege to pray for you.
The presidential campaign has entered the home stretch. With just 2 months to go, polls show the country is divided. Women favoring Vice President Kamala Harris and men going for former President Donald Trump. Both candidates focusing their attention this weekend on the economy. Washington correspondent Caitlin Burke has the details.
On Labor Day, And every day, we celebrate the dignity of work. The dignity of work. We celebrate unions because unions helped build America, and unions help build America's middle class.
Vice President Kamala Harris making a push in the battleground states, reaching out to union workers in Detroit before going to Pennsylvania for her first campaign event with President Biden since she became the Democratic nominee.
I promise you, if you elect Kamala Harris as president, it'll be the best decision you will have ever made.
Harris made it clear she opposes a proposed takeover of U.S. steel by a Japanese company, and she took the opportunity to attack Trump's past economic policies.
Remember, as president, Donald Trump blocked overtime benefits for millions of workers.
Trump was not on the campaign trail this weekend, but he fired back at Harris on his social media platform Truth Social, writing, quote, "Under Comrade Kamala Harris, all Americans are suffering during this holiday weekend. High gas prices, transportation costs are up, and grocery prices are through the roof." He went on to tout his administration's work passing the USMCA, a trade deal between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada, and promised to protect American jobs if reelected. A new ABC News Ipsos poll finds Harris leads former President Trump 52 to 46 among likely voters, the numbers showing that since the Democratic National Convention, she's widened her gap with female voters, while Trump has done the same with males.
Trump returns to the campaign trail Wednesday for a rally in Pennsylvania. And a week from today, Harris and Trump will face off in their first televised debate. Caitlin Burke, CBN News, Washington.
As Caitlin reported, inflation and the economy look to be a major issue this election. And Americans are feeling the pain at the grocery store and housing costs, electric bills, and more. Although some economic areas are improving and inflation is slowing, for many there still remains a feeling of heaviness. CBN's Jenna Browder explains why.
Food, rent, gas, back-to-school clothes.
Inflation and the economy.
That is called Bidenomics.
Issues both sides know will loom large this November. And one the Trump campaign is hitting hard with ads like this. Voters are definitely aware.
The cost of living is too high.
I'm a big coffee drinker, so my big thing is I notice how high coffee is now.
Everything is getting expensive and the income is not going higher. So it's a problem for everybody, not only for me, for everybody, because the houses, the rentals are high, the mortgages are super high.
It's true. Rent and electricity bills are up by 10% or more over the past 2 years. Car insurance up as much as 40% in some places, according to the Labor Department.
It's something ridiculous.
And as heavy as inflation may feel, stats show it's slowing. Big-ticket items like cars, TVs, plane tickets, and even gas have dropped over the past year. The overall pace of year-over-year inflation, measured by the Consumer Price Index, just dropped to 3%, much lower than the high of 9% only 2 years ago.
Where the confusion, I think, comes into play is we talk about inflation coming down, which is not the same as, broadly speaking, prices coming down.
Mark Hamrick with Bankrate tells CBN News the good news is prices are not increasing like they were. The kicker, though, is that prices have risen about 20% since early 2020, or the start of the pandemic, and that's why it can feel like things might not be getting better.
Beneath the surface, we have some prices coming down, some prices still extremely high, and so many households don't feel as if we're truly winning the war against high prices.
Hamrick says there are some things you can do, like sitting down and coming up with a budget, bargaining whenever it's possible, and yes, using every discount you can get.
I don't like to admit it, but I was in a grocery store not that long ago, and they reminded me at checkout that I could have a senior discount. Not exactly what I wanted to hear, but it saved me a little bit.
Donald Trump fights for billionaires and large corporations. I will fight to give money back to working and middle-class Americans.
Voters can expect to hear a lot of this between now and Election Day.
Hopefully, after November, there is a change and everything goes better.
And it already has some ready to go to the polls. Jenna Browder, CBN News.
Still ahead, a major threat to America few people are even aware of. Just imagine everything from phones to gas pumps to cash machines to traffic lights. All of them and more suddenly just stop working. That's the danger from a massive cyber attack. We'll hear what you can do to prepare right after this. A silent attack that could bring America to a standstill. The Commission on National Defense Strategy recently warned senators that the United States is unprepared for a cyber war that could plunge the nation into chaos. Security experts are working feverishly to try to ensure that doesn't happen. CBN's Dale Hurd has that story.
This is the sound most people expect to hear in an attack on the American home front. But when war comes, we may only hear this. Silence, when many of the things we rely upon stop working. The Commission on the National Defense Strategy recently warned senators the United States is unprepared for a devastating cyber war that will bring life in towns and cities across America to a standstill.
The public is essentially clueless about the massive cyber attacks that could be launched any day by our adversaries, not just nation states, but rogue actors as well.
Experts see the next war beginning with a keyboard attack on America's critical infrastructure, threatening to cut off internet, electricity, water, transportation, and financial systems. It would mean almost everything from phones to gas pumps to cash machines to traffic lights suddenly stop working.
We're very vulnerable.
Cybersecurity expert Dr. Samantha Ravitch served on Congress's Cyberspace Solarium Commission and as a deputy national security advisor in the Bush White House. She's especially concerned about the lack of protection at America's many municipal water stations.
A soft underbelly of our country is our water system. And those water utilities don't often have the best cybersecurity. They have old technology.
After a cyber strike on your local water plant, your water tap might not work or your water could become dangerous to drink. In 2021, it was reported that a hacker tried to poison the water supply of Oldsmar, Florida, by increasing the levels of sodium hydroxide. The city now claims it was operator error, but in the last year, foreign actors from Iran and Russia have been linked to water facility attacks in Pennsylvania, Indiana, and Texas.
I've personally been inside over a dozen water and wastewater plants just in this region alone, and 100% of the water systems that I've been involved with have been extremely vulnerable to external attacks specifically.
Sean Waldman, CEO of Ohio-based Secure Cyber and a member of Cyber Ohio's Critical Infrastructure Working Group, says adversaries are constantly testing America's cyber defenses for vulnerabilities in preparation for war.
We're in a cyber cold war today. We've got vulnerabilities with air traffic, radar systems. We've got vulnerabilities in our 911 systems.
In China's Operation Volt Typhoon, hackers were able to pre-position bots inside U.S. systems, and they remained undetected for years, spying on the U.S. military. One of those responsible for securing America's power supply in the next cyber war is Andy Bachman, senior grid strategist at the Idaho National Lab. While his team works to make the grid safe, Bachman admitted there are 1 million vulnerabilities and a cyber war could be bad.
Yeah, if this came to pass in the United States and we lost critical infrastructure services that we take for granted, that we come to expect, there will be much wailing and gnashing of teeth. See the recent CrowdStrike thing. And that wasn't even a hack. That was just human error misconfiguration with a huge impact, right?
In a cyber war, hackers will not be content to just turn things off. They'll also try to force potentially dangerous sites like dams and nuclear plants to malfunction. In 2013, Iranian hackers gained access to the control system of a dam in Rye Brook, New York, before being caught. The experts we talked to all believe cyber war is coming. All are personally preparing, some with stocks of food, water, and fuel.
I think that every household can be more prepared for 30 days off the grid. Think about your water. Think about your food stocks. Think about your emergency communications plans. Think about, do you have people in your house that need medicines that are refrigerated?
Even though U.S. experts know the next war will begin in cyberspace and are scrambling to beef up America's defenses, they also know that in this very internet-connected age, there are likely too many vulnerabilities to defend. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
Coming up, some good news for CBN's international programming in Latin America, with shows and anchors nominated for awards. We'll bring you that story when we come back.
Introducing a brand new way to start your morning, the CBN News Quick Start Podcast. Each weekday morning at 7 a.m., get quick highlights of the day's important news. Then an in-depth analysis that goes beyond the headlines. Insights that matter to people of faith. Discover how God is moving around the world and here at home. Find the CBN News Quick Start Podcast on iTunes or wherever you enjoy listening to podcasts, because truth matters. Download the CBN News app, 24/7 news from a Christian perspective at home or on the road. One place for all of your news. Breaking news alerts. Set daily prayer goals and pray for news stories. Read the most important news and watch CBN News Channel live. CBN News, because truth matters. Go to cbnnewsapp.com to get the app today.
CBN Latin America received 8 nominations for this year's Eagle Awards, organized by the Glocal Association. It's the first international organization to honor the excellence of Christian-focused media in Latin America, and has recognized hundreds of Spanish-speaking communicators and media for more than a decade. CBN's Omar Murillo was nominated for hosting Vida Dura, and Nadia Ivan Lopez was nominated for hosting Viva Mas. The programs Vida Dura, Viva Mas, and Mundo Cristiano were also nominated. Well, that's it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. Remember, you can find more of our news programs on the CBN News Channel anytime or online with cbnnews.com. Also, tell us what you think about the stories you've seen by emailing newswatch@cbn.com. Or talk to us on Facebook, Instagram, and X, which is formerly known as Twitter. And we hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day.